everyone. How's everybody doing today? My name is Sharon DeCoster, and I am so excited to be here before you, here coming live from Cary, North Carolina, the beautiful city of Cary in North Carolina, celebrating the release of my personal book entitled My Journey to Building a Better You. It is my personal memoir where I share with you, the readers, the world, my journey in building a better you. I share my inspiration, I share my motivation, I share my experiences, my setbacks, my disappointments, and of course, I have to share my victories because God is good. He's been good to me, and there's been a lot of victories along the way. But I share all of that information in my personal book. So please go out and buy it, purchase it today, tomorrow. Support the cause because it's a wonderful cause, I assure you. Not only am I excited to be here on this day, this launch, this day, this celebration for this book, again, My Journey to Building a Better You, I'm even more excited to release my workbooks, my 4 development workshops for young ladies. If you don't know, Building a Better You is a personal development life skills program. What I do is use fashion as a platform to build self-esteem, build character, confidence, leadership skills. And the wonderful part, the special part about these books is that I actually have real young ladies, real girls who are now women that have gone through the program that have contributed to these workbooks. So this is very special to me. It means a lot to me. And I have a treat for you this afternoon. I promise you I have a treat. Because not only have they contributed to these workbooks, these young ladies, some of them, shall I say, are here. They're here in the house with me in Cary, North Carolina. So get ready, sit back, be prepared to be inspired, to be motivated, to be empowered for just this moment. I promise you, you don't want to miss it. I promise you. Again, my journey to building a better you, my personal memoir. I'm going to come back and share a little bit about what's inside with you. And then, of course, my additional guests will come and bless you as well. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. All right. Hey, everyone. I am back again. This is Sharon DeCoster, once again coming to you live from Cary, North Carolina. It's funny because I didn't know what direction I would go in writing a book. I knew I wanted to write something. It's been a while since I've kind of shared my story, if you would. And as I mentioned when I announced that I was writing a book, that for the most part with the program, I would always put my girls out front because it was never about me. It's still not about me. I always wanted them to shine. So when I created this program, it was really about working on self-esteem, working on confidence, and then building them up so that they feel good about themselves, and then they would be able to go forward and then be able to be a blessing to someone else. So, it's funny, over the years, I've been asked, why are you doing this program? What is your motivation? I think a lot of times people would wonder who I was because I'm not really an outwardly talkative person. I like to talk. Don't get me wrong, but I'm more reserved, if you would. So a lot of times when I was going about my day or just pursuing the program, I would go into different meetings. When I first started this program back in 2002, mind you, it was like going into meetings and I would go in and sit down and be very quiet. I'm very poised, if you would, but very quiet. And for the most part, some would wonder who I was. Now, for me, I will share, and I will share this with you, and I shared this in my book, that I was truly the underdog in the process because I didn't necessarily have all the credentials that man or society says you should have to do a program of the magnitude of which I implemented Building a Better You. So what I took the time to do is to write a little bit in the book about my personal upbringing, because I think if you understand where I came from, understand my upbringing, it would be a lot easier to understand my motivation. So what I would like to do, and I'm only going to just take a few, sentences, if you would, because I do want you to go out and buy the book, but I am going to give you enough. That way you can at least know what type of content is included in this book here. And then, like I said, there'll be some other treats that I have in store for you in just a moment as well. So, I make a joke because I have to put my glasses on. I used to can just read from afar, no problems, but now as I've gotten older, I need some glasses to see what I'm reading. So I am going to just read just a few sentences from my book itself. With the book, what I decided to do is to break the book, my personal book rather, into 4 chapters. Each chapter is titled after my workshops. I offer 4 development workshops or 4 development programs. The first one being all about me. This particular program or workshop series, if you would, chapter basically is about self-esteem. It's about building your value system. You know, a lot of times, like our young people, they're not clear on their values. A lot of times we go out into the world as young people and they're not clear on the things that are important to them, their upbringing. A lot of times they forget their little bits and tidbits and the seeds that their parents and their great parents, grandparents, and mentors in the community has poured into them. So it was very important for me to make sure I implemented the value part of the program and the All About Me workshop series, if you would. So that's one of many. Again, goal setting, self-esteem, building, your confidence, financial literacy, if you would. That's some of what is included in the All About Me series as well. So I'm going to take just, like I said, a few sentences from each chapter, and there's only 4, so I'm not going to be long, and just read a little bit, and then I'll give you a little bit of background as to why I decided to read this one in particular. So the part of the All About Me, page 10 to be exact. You know, my dad was my first example of a real man. He had a quiet strength that did not care for all the bells and whistles in life. He was very private and believed that you should never let people know what you have. In other words, always be modest in your approach. Let people think what they want to about you. But he also believed in having the better things in life and working hard for them. That's one little section there I wanted to read. And then another little section I want to read, a part of the All About Me chapter workbook. My mom was heavily into the church by the early to mid 1980s. We were brought up Baptist, and by the year 1984, my mother had become the first woman pastor ordained at Union Baptist Church in Stamford, Connecticut. This was a big deal, once again, because it was no secret that women were not as respected as leaders. Many believed a woman should only be seen and not heard, and especially not from the pulpit. And as the youngest, I was the one that had to go with my mom on the mommy trips or the church programs, if you would. So I was actually exposed to a woman that would stand up before a podium. As I put in my book, she was like a goddess to me because she was strong, she was confident, she articulated herself. You know, she knew who she was. And I remember as a little girl just seeing that woman, that role model, stand before, hundreds of people preaching, the word, preaching God's word. She didn't mix words, if you would. And so that was my example, one of my examples, my strongest female example growing up. And then, as I mentioned with my dad, as I mentioned, he was very modest. He taught us, you keep what you have private. It's not about being showboaty. It's not about telling the next person or bragging, because you can have something today and it can be gone tomorrow. So those were like my part of my seeds that were poured into me at an early age, and it helped to build my confidence. It helped me to carry myself very humbly, very modestly. And that's what I was able to pour into the program. And that's part of what I taught my girls and going forward, that, it's not about, being better than anyone else, because we're all, equal, but it's really about presenting yourself in a polished way with a nice presentation, carrying yourself like a young lady, and being confident in the process. And there's a difference between confidence and conceit. Okay, there's always that fine line, if you would. There's nothing wrong with feeling good about yourself. There's nothing wrong with commending yourself. As I would tell my girls, there's nothing wrong with patting yourself on the back when you accomplish things. Don't be so closed-mouthed about it to where you can't necessarily celebrate your accomplishments, but always be modest about it. Be humble about it. Okay, so that was part of my upbringing, and those experiences is what pretty much contributed to my chapter All About Me. And of course, there's a lot more good information in that All About Me chapter, so make sure you pick it up. Okay, so now moving forward, I have to keep going because I'm so excited about who's coming up after me. My next chapter in this book is called My Choice. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, My Choice. My Choice is a workshop series that is about making good decisions, communication skills. We all are pretty much one bad decision from being somewhere we don't want to be. So it's about thinking your thoughts through, being able to make sound decisions, not allowing others to influence you. My choice does include, of course, the peer pressure, bullying, if you would, social media. I always have taught the girls that have gone through the program that choose your friends wisely. Your friendships are a reflection of you. Who's the smartest one in your circle? If you find that you're the smartest one in your circle, then you need to expand your circle, because the question will then be, who are you gleaning from? Who is it that you can learn from? So My Choice is really about decision making, just to sum it up. Okay, and I do want to read the section about decision making, or shall I say my choice. Okay, please forgive me. I had to put my glasses back on, y'all. All right, here we go. So, My Choice, Chapter 2. Having boundaries, that we said, does not mean anything terrible. Boundaries are necessary. We all must learn how to go it alone sometimes in life, which is actually healthy. It prevents codependent behaviors. Some people have to have other people around them in order to feel complete, or have someone to do things with them in order for them to do them. Romantic relationships, personal relationships, and business relationships all require us to have boundaries and be open to change them if necessary. Now, like never before, I'm a firm believer that we have to be okay with our own company before we can become attached to someone else. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Boundaries. Boundaries are so important to have in life. Has been probably part of my saving grace, if you would, because you have to know how sometimes to reevaluate the people that are close to you. Everyone does not deserve to have front row in your life, period. There's some people that you need to push back 1 or 2 aisles back from where they were at when you may have started out with them however many years ago. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It just means that maybe the chapter or the season of life that you may have shared together is over. Know when the story is over. Get up from the table. That's in my book. I won't dare say it because I want you to read it, but there is a famous singer that says, and I won't call out because I want you to read it, but she says, know when to get up from the table when love is no longer being served. Know when to get up from the table when love is no longer being served. Know your boundaries in life. Never become so dependent on a person to where if they were to die tomorrow or they were to walk away tomorrow, you cannot go on in life. That's not how God designed you. We are all individuals. And it's okay to say, this isn't working for me. And I'm not saying it where you're just jumping around and being promiscuous. Let me qualify or quantify my statement there. Okay, because a commitment and vows are something different. But even in that, you still have to know that there's boundaries. You always have to have self-respect, respect for yourself, and know when you say this is not healthy. What can we do to make this right? But it requires 2 people to make that right together. It can't be one person trying and the other person is not. You're setting yourself up for failure, disappointment. In relationships, you have to be whole and complete before you get involved in these relationships. That's one of the things that I can honestly say. I've seen some of my girls, not necessarily the girls with me or today or what have you, but just going through the program over the years, the many, many years. Like I said, Building a Better You has been around since 2002. But a lot of them have, involved themselves with relationships, and they go from relationship to relationship to relationship. There's no healing process. There's no cleansing. There's no release. They just feel like they have to have a man, or a man might feel like I just have to have a girl. But that's relationships aren't supposed to complete you. Relationships should only complement you. And the only way that they will complement you is if you're complete. It's like you're putting on a piece of jewelry. My earrings, I have my outfit on. My outfit is complete with or without my earrings. But if I put my earrings on, my earrings just complements my outfit. So the same thing applies as it would be for personal relationships, work relationships. Sometimes you might have coworkers that are maybe, sometimes you come in, you ever found it to be where some days you come in and someone is just always complaining. Every time you turn around, they got something, I'm having a bad day. It's just bad. Everything's bad. What's good? The cat died. The dog got ran over. I burnt my toast. What's good? Is there anything good? When you find people that are constantly always negative, always got something to say, always, never can bring anything positive to the table. It's always something negative, just catty. For what reason? Then you got to reevaluate. That's where the boundaries come into play. That's where you draw the line. And you say, you know what? You're good. We're good. But you're going to have to be good over there for right now while I'm growing, while I'm progressing. Because there is a scripture, and I put that in the book. I'm not going to call it out, but maybe I will. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. And I'll let that sit for just a minute. Do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good character. So know your boundaries. Know your boundaries. And that's part of my choice. Thank you. All right, we're rolling, huh? I believe we are. I have just 2 more chapters, y'all. Are y'all with me still? I hope so. Are y'all enjoying this? I hope so, because I am. Can you tell? All right, here we go. Chapter 3. My body is important. Let's see. This one is about having balance mentally, emotionally, spiritually, having balance, taking care of your body, eating well, drinking your 8 glasses of water a day, getting, your 7 or 8 hours of sleep, which I am so guilty. These past months has been, oh my goodness, working on like 2 and 3 hours of sleep a night, trying to get books done. But it is important to have balance, and it's also important to be able to not take life so serious. When I say don't take life so serious, don't take life so serious to where everything is just so, you got to do this. It's a constant, 70% on work and 25% on family, which is fine. Family's good. And then that last little 5% is you. Does that equal 100, y'all? I hope so. Okay. Okay. Balance. Something's off balance. If you have 70% work, 25% family, and then 5% you, something's lacking. So you have to bring balance to your life. My body is important is about, recognizing your temple, recognizing what God has given you, not taking it for granted. There's so many people out there that would love to switch places with you and I, stop complaining about things. Be happy, laugh at some things, laugh at yourself. Matter of fact, let me share with you something that I thought it was humorous enough to put it in the book. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Putting my glasses back on, y'all. I need my glasses. Though things were taking shape, there were also some very interesting moments along the way. I say that because it's important to stay lighthearted on the journey. There will be moments of wanting to cry, but there will be laughter, but laughter will be the best antidote. I remember one time preparing to go into the office for a group session on a Saturday morning. I had quite a few bags in my hand and I was walking across downtown Durham to be exact. I had office space that was above a hair salon. It was a studio office space, beautiful office space. And of course, to get to the studio, I had to cross the street whenever I parked on the street, downtown Durham off of Paris Street. And I didn't want to make two trips. I called myself walking in with all these bags in my hand because I didn't want to make two trips. And anyone knows me, I'm notorious, have been, notorious for wearing my heels. I've slowed down on wearing heels, y'all. I can't wear heels like I used to. But, anyone knows me knows that I was just notorious for putting on a heel. It didn't matter what I was wearing it with. I didn't have a problem with it. Well, on this particular day, thank God, I had on some flip-flops walking across the street to the office, downtown Durham, bright and early, wasn't that many cars out. And I don't even have to read this from the book because I can remember it like it was yesterday. And got in the middle of the street and a bag dropped. And I was like, oh, Lord, here we go. I got a whole bunch of bags in my hand. Oh, Lord. So me being the determined person that I am, I call myself bending down, trying to balance with the bags in my hand. And as I got down and I was getting ready to reach for that bag, well, I felt myself losing balance. And I was like, oh, Lord, I'm getting ready to fall. What's getting ready to happen? I'm ready to fall in the middle of the street, Lord. And lo and behold, it was a thing of sharing you're getting ready to fall. You know how you just think something through in your mind, kind of slow motion? And sure enough, them bags dropped. Well, no, it was a matter of me either falling back or dropping everything. Well, I opted to just fall back and then I dropped everything. So here I was in the middle of downtown Durham, in the middle, like literally in the middle of the street, on my behind with bags everywhere. And I sat there for about 10 seconds and I said, well, I'll be a dog. And I just started laughing because really, I didn't get hurt. Don't get me wrong. It was kind of funny. And if somebody was watching from the window or in the car, they got a good laugh. And sure enough, I heard this horn beep and I looked back while I'm still on the ground and there was this man driving up in his Jaguar. And he said, ma'am, are you okay? And when I look back, it so happened to be at the time, God rest his soul, Mr. Sturdivant. He was a hotel owner downtown Durham, which Paris Street, back in the day was considered Black Wall Street, if you would. And he owned the hotel at the time on the corner. And when he looked back, well, I looked back and then he looked to see who it was like our eyes locked. And then we both just laughed. And he was like, are you okay? And I said, yeah, I'm fine. And he was like, you need some help? And I was like, no, I'm good. And I just got up and got my bags and walked into the building. But my point in even sharing that, I'm okay with it. Hey, I can laugh at myself. Life is not that serious for me. It's not, it'll never be that serious. And I share that just to say that I hope in your journey, on your way to wherever it is you're headed, that you never take life so serious that you can't be lighthearted. That was one of the things I did share in my All About Me chapter that, growing up with my family, my sisters, my cousins, which are, my first cousins, my father's brother's children, if you would, we laugh, we crack jokes. You had to have tough skin because we would have little captain sessions, if you would. That's just what we did. Life is never that serious to where you can't take a moment to laugh at things and not be, facetious. I'm not suggesting that, but to be lighthearted. In other words, that's the moral of my brief story. Okay, so that brings my balance. That was just me sharing one of many examples. I know how to have a good time. I know when to handle business, and I know family time as well. So you got to be able to juggle the three of them so that you can be balanced in your mind, so you can protect your mental health. It can't be work all the time and no play. You're setting yourself up for something health-wise. So take a moment to and we can't forget, my God, spiritual balance, spirituality. Pray. I can't speak to anyone's religion. I know who, for me, I'm a Christian. I love the Lord. God is real. He's been real in my life since I was, since I came into the world, if you would. That's all I know. As my mother said, stay with Christ. That's what it is for me, So for whoever and whatever your religion is, so be it. But for me, I just say, bring balance. Bring to protect your mental, your physical, and then, of course, your spiritual side. Okay? My body is important, y'all. That's the third chapter. All right? So we rolling. I believe we're rolling. And then my last one that I'm going to share, and actually, I jumped a little bit, and there's a takeaway. And one of the things I really wanted to share, because this really applied to me, and I thought it would be just great to share this one. And this one is just kind of like and the book is cool, y'all. It's not just, black and white. It's color, on the cover. Beautiful cover. I have to talk to you about my design, my design person. I have to tell you about Miss Sin McGregor. She's awesome. I'm going to tell you about her before I leave this platform, because she did an awesome job. Definitely will give her a plug, because she did an amazing job, just the whole process. But this is the last thing that I'll share from my book. The biggest lesson for me is that God will always use the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Everything, and hear me when I say this, everything that I built with Building a Better You, with God's grace, with his anointing, with him pruning and preparing me and removing the wrong people and bringing in the right people. And over the years, it hasn't always been an easy process, because, of course, pruning never feels good, But everything I built with Building a Better You happened without all the grandeur and titles society says you should have to be important or know what you are talking about. Yes, continue to learn and accomplish great things. Go to school, obtain that additional degree, but don't get caught up in titles, because God is no respecter of man. He favors the judge in the courtroom or the doctor in the sick room as he would the homeless person on the street or the young person who has seemingly lost their way. That part of me sharing that section with you is really about, as I mentioned, I was the underdog, y'all. It was a scary process starting out. I've been told no more than I've been told yes. I've been told I'll get back with you more than when I've been told, hey, let's work together. I've been told, hey, we don't have money to do X, Y, and Z, but we'll take your free services and we'll collect the paycheck. I've been told that you don't have the credentials. I have my degree now. Don't get me wrong. I have a bachelor's degree. Graduated from St. Augustine's University. Yay. Falcon. Yeah. Yep. There you go. Right. I have a degree, but I didn't get my degree until I was an adult. Well into an adult. And I'm not discouraging any young person, because education is important. You have to have it. You have to have some level of training, education, trade this day and time. Do not get out of high school and not go back to school and get some additional something. It's required. Why, you might ask? Because we live in a very competitive state, if you would. Every other person, young person, 18, 19, 20, they have some sort of degree, And if you say, well, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, you still got to get some sort of trade. You got to get some kind of learning underneath your belt. And you can never just rely on just one thing. I'm an advocate. I'm a believer of multiple streams of income. Anybody that knows me knows that Miss Sharon always is doing something. I would never rely on one source of income. Never, ever, ever. You're setting yourself up when you do so. So when you say, well, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to get my own, I'm going to start my own business, that's lovely. That's great. But what if, God forbid, something happens? Because you got to keep in mind, they say, you want to make God laugh, tell him what your plans are. God may have a different plan or a different route for you. Sometimes, your personal aspirations and desires, he'll allow you to experience along the way to purpose. That's what it was for me. I started out modeling. I modeled professionally for several years. I did print work. It's all in this book. I did print work. I did runway. I taught runway. I worked as an agency director for the world's largest international modeling agency. I went to schools all throughout North Carolina scouting talent on behalf of the agency before I realized that there was a stronger purpose and calling on my life, and that was to build up young people, young girls. It wasn't about the outward appearance, and that's what a lot of young people are so caught up in. Not all, I dare not say that. I would dare not put everybody in the same, basket, if you would. But a lot of people and adults are so caught up with their outward appearance that they negate the most important thing. You can be a beautiful person. You can have the most, stunning appearance, male, female, what have you. But if you have a bad personality, if you're ugly, how you treat people, if you're disrespectful, that overrides it all. So it's okay. Keep moving, keep shining, right? Know that there's a great opportunity. The world is like a oyster. Your platform for new things, great things. But learn. But just never get so caught up in your title to where you think you're better than, because there's no such thing. Because when you get to that place, God has a way of humbling us all. And if He humbles you, you don't want God's humbling. So it's better to humble yourself while you can, okay? Because if He humbles you, you might not like it. And if you don't know Him, it really will be a long journey to get to know Him in that process, all right? So that's some of what's in my book, My Journey to Building a Better You, a memoir of how self-esteem and the love of fashion evolved into a lifestyle brand and lifelong purpose far greater than self. You got to go get it, y'all. You can not only get it on my website, which for those that go to my website, which is www.myjourneytobuildingabetteryou, spelled out, .com. You can go on the website and order the book and get a signed copy. And for those that have already paid and waiting for their signed copy, I promise you it's on its way. Or you're more than welcome to go to Amazon.com and get the copy, either way. All right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. God is good. God is real. My journey to building a better you. We'll be right back with you. Hey, everybody. I am back. Sharon Yvonne DeCoster in the house, Cary, North Carolina, streaming live. Celebrating the release of my book, My Journey to Building a Better You, a memoir, as well as some workbooks, some new elevated workbooks for building a better you. I did want to take just a few moments to just tell you just a few things, and that is if you purchase my paperback today, March 14th, on my website, or actually, only way I would know is if you do it on the website. So go to the website, y'all, www.myjourneytobuildingabetteryou, and purchase the book. Like I said, you'll get a signed copy, but you also will be entered into a drawing to win a free headshot session by my professional photographer, Rick Craig. Pics by Rick. Rick is like a brother to me. I've known Rick since the modeling agency. He's awesome. He's been a blessing to me, to the program. Rick is the one that takes care of the photo shoots that the girls participate in at the end of the program. So he is gracious enough to offer one of the raffle giveaways, 250 value photo shoot session. So go to the website, order the book, get into the drawing for that prize. Also, another prize that will be given away for this raffle, for the raffle that I'm giving away for purchasing the book, will be Sin McGregor. Now, let me tell you about Sin. Sin's actually, you should see the bag at my montage that's going through when the commercial comes up. It is valued at $35, but it's a beautiful bag. It's an eco-friendly bag. Sin McGregor. Sin, I have to read this. I have to say it right. Okay, let me get my glasses. Hold on. Hold up. Okay. I have to read this right because I have to make sure I give her just credit. She's been amazing, y'all. She's been my book coach. She has thought of things that I would have never dared thought to think of, if you would. She's come through and encouraged me. She's checked me when I needed to be checked. And my personality, I need someone like that. I don't need someone to tell me what I want to hear. I need someone around me. I need people around me that's going to be honest. And I thank God for her. I mean, can I just tell y'all real quick, like the backstory, how we met? Because I think it's actually cool. And this is just going to speak to how God is. Now, there was an office it was a co-working space, and I met Sin over at this co-working space called the Vibe Cary. And I have to shout out Leah, because Leah's been awesome as well, Leah and Nanette. So now Leah had made an introduction for Sin and I. We were sitting in the lobby. Sin was over on the side. I was over here waiting for Leah to talk some business. And she did like a quick introduction, Leah did, and then she walked away. So then Sin and I just kind of had a little brief conversation. When you meet someone, you're kind of like, hi, how you doing? But you don't really get into no conversation because you don't really know that person. So, you're just like, hey, how you doing? And that was it. So I don't really know what brought the conversation up where I found out that she was holding a model call because she is a designer. And she's a designer, product design. And so she was telling me that she was preparing for a model call, if you would. And she just, wasn't really clear on what direction she was going with it. And right when she said model call, I was like, little antennas went up because, of course, that's my background, a part of it. And I said, oh, wow, what do you have? Let me take a look. And so then she started showing me like her model call that she was putting together. And she wasn't certain if that was the right way to go about it or not. And so I was like, well, here, maybe you could do it this way or what have you. And, I just did it, just natural conversation, just being genuine in who I am. And she clearly was being genuine in who she was. And longer story short, we exchanged information. I believe she shared with me what her model call looked like. She was actually doing a model call, looking to do something over on the campus of North Carolina State University. And so then here it is. That was like, just say 6 months out, ago. And then fast forward, I'm meeting with Leah over at the Vibe again. And I was telling her that I was in the process of writing this book and that, I was looking to do some different things. And so she mentioned Sin's name. Now, before I say that, Sin said to me, Sharon, thank you for helping me. I appreciate that. Let me know if there's anything I can do to help you. And I was like, oh, okay, not thinking anything more because I didn't really know what I could do other than just like a model call or what have you, at the time as I was thinking. And lo and behold, when Leah said, what about, don't forget Sin designs books, she's a graphic designer, she's awesome. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's right, I remember. And so I reached out to her, I sent her an email, and I did just kind of like, hey, this is Sharon, I want to ask you to do something for me, do you have a moment? And then she responded immediately, and then I told her what I was doing, and ever since then, it's like we became just really, great friends, business partners, if you would. She's been a great book coach, advisor. So if anyone's looking to write a book, anyone's looking to do some graphic work, anyone that, as I think one of her titles is book doula. She's a book doula, y'all. So any of that need, necessary work, I'm plugging her in. Thumbs up. 2 thumbs up, Sin. Okay, here we go. Sin McGregor, let me tell you, Sin is a lifelong creative pro who works on select projects that involve expertise in art direction, graphic design, illustration, consulting, and product design. She is an award-winning abstract media, mixed media painter, and surface designer. She offers eco-friendly decor and apparel at her Etsy shop. So she has some real cool pieces, y'all. Please check Sin McGregor out. And just real quickly for her handle, social media handle, connect with her on Instagram at Sin MacGregor, M-A-C Gregor _art, and as well Twitter at Sin, C-Y-N, just J-U-S-T, Sin, C-Y-N. Check her out, y'all. So again, she's giving away one of the prizes for the raffle. And then Rick has his photo shoot session. And I cannot not plug myself, y'all. Life coaching. I am a certified life coach. I'm certified in mindfulness. Someone may ask, well, what is that, Sharon? Certified in mindfulness. I don't know. I didn't even know there was such a thing. So I took the class. I'm like, okay, but I am a certified life coach on a very serious note. And that is one of the things that I will be throwing into the raffle as well. I will be giving away free 45-minute sessions that is valued at about $50, $45, $50. And I'll be giving away quite a bit of those. And of course, a signed book copy from me. And then if you don't know, I'm getting ready to tell you, I also have some lifestyle accessories that I will be plugging in the next time we have this platform, because that was what I was going to say till later, but there will be more of these recordings, you all. And I'm reaching out to people to sponsor, people that would love to come on the show and talk about the things that they're doing. And I'm always about uplifting our young people. So of course, I'm always about young people that are doing some great things, entrepreneurship, doing great things, going off to school, just working, being a blessing to the community, being a blessing to their family. So yes, there will be more opportunities like this. So definitely stay in touch with me. And again, in order for you to enter into the raffle, you have to go to my website and purchase the book today, March 14th. Going forward, I'll probably say, over the next couple of days, if you would, www.myjourneytobuildingabetteryou.com. Thank you, y'all. Stay tuned because I have a treat for you when I come back. Thank you. Rebecca contributed to her workbook is entitled My Choice. She is in the decision making, the peer pressure workshop, and she's going to share with us just a little bit about her journey. Yeah. So Rebecca, before you get started with that, tell me, how old were you when you started with Building a Better You?
So I was about 13. I was, just heading into high school. Gosh, and I'm 26 now. So
wow, that's a long time once again.
Yeah.
That means a lot. I mean, usually when I say millennials, I don't know, are you considered a millennial?
I was a 95 baby.
Okay, so once you get a certain age, it's kind of hard to get them to come back. So, my girls have been with me when they were teenagers, they're fully grown, they're adults, and they still have the time for Miss Sharon. That means a lot. That speaks volume to who they are, and hopefully it speaks volumes to the program in itself. If I remember correctly, Rebecca, you were homeschooled at the time.
Yes.
Tell us what that was like. Do you mind?
Of course, okay. Of course. Well, I started homeschooling in the 3rd grade, and then all the way up until 11th grade.
Okay,
so,
very nice.
I throughout my whole high school year, I was homeschooled and did co-op classes with other homeschoolers.
Very nice.
So I could at least kind of get that social aspect.
Very nice.
But I loved it in a way because it was, it's protected me from the real world,
right? Right.
And my mom was very, it still is very protective of me, her.
I remember.
But it was great because I get to, I'm an introvert, so I love spending time at home and everything. And I was able to spend time with my parents a lot. And it was a great experience.
Yeah, very nice. And I remember that you danced as well.
Yes.
And she danced Christian dance.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
For how long?
From age 4 until age 18, I did ballet.
18. Very nice. And then you also went off to Meredith as well.
That's correct.
What was your experience at Meredith?
If I'm being honest, I don't know if my mind was fully in it. It was a great experience because I got to really, experience meeting other people, taking college course classes, which is, pretty difficult. But, if it's one thing, when you aim towards something, your mind has to be in it. Otherwise, you're not going to be fully in it, and that was for me. I just felt like it wasn't the right time for me.
Understand.
So it was a little bit difficult, and it was a big adjustment for me because I was used to being at home with my parents. I lived there for 18 years, and then just suddenly going off to live by myself.
That was a big, I'm sure that was a shocker.
It was.
The transition of it.
It was, very much so. And that's where I met my boyfriend, which is kind of where my story starts.
Okay, so she's getting ready to tell us about the boyfriend we want to hear. So definitely share a little bit about what you contributed, because this is one of the workbooks that
Rebecca did contribute to.
Yes.
And I want, before you say that, just because it's fresh in my mind, this is so important. I'm glad you said it, that caught my attention, that her mind wasn't in it. She wasn't ready. And that is so important. I actually put that in my book as well, that parents, you need to make sure that we're not forcing our kids, not that you were being forced to do anything, but that you're not forcing them to do something they're not ready for. Because if you're not ready, then you're not going to give it the fortitude or the focus that it needs to be successful in doing it. So you always have to do things when you're ready. Ready. So very good. Thank you for saying that.
Of course.
Okay, Rebecca, so let's hear a little bit about what part would you like to share in your workbook?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot to it. I'm trying to think
a little bit for us, so they can buy the book, because we want to make sure they buy this book.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I got a lot of juicy stuff in here, y'all. So you're just gonna have to buy the book to read it all.
So give us some.
Yeah. So basically, I guess the story begins when I was 18 years old, and I got married when I was 18 after knowing somebody for about 6 months or so.
Okay.
He was the first love of my life. So I thought I knew what I wanted, and kind of just jumped into it, full force. And I had one big thing that was really important to me before I even considered dating was, saving sex for marriage. Okay. And that's a huge thing in today's society, is that is not valued. Right. It's not valued anymore. Right. So for me, that was a big thing. And I had promised, my parents and the Lord and everything, I promised not to do this until marriage. That was a huge thing. And once I met this guy, I mean, it was, I felt, head over heels for him, very handsome, said all the right things. And then once I got into the relationship, and specifically into the marriage, that's when I really started to see his true colors. And, I made some mistakes, but God has totally redeemed that. But, one thing I learned is to not settle. Know your worth, know your value. And I sometimes and it was a painful experience to go through that marriage, because I was not being treated the way I should be treated, and, emotionally, mentally. And so that was really difficult. And I was very stubborn. I don't know about you guys, but I tend to be kind of stubborn, in my thoughts sometimes. So, it was painful, and sometimes we get comfortable in that pain, and it's all that we know. So, the thought of stepping out or, experience something new was very frightening to me, because my ex-husband was all that I knew, but my faith is really what kept me grounded and not giving up, because I did not want to give up, but it was a very one-way street. I was the one putting in all the effort, doing everything I could to make it work. And, God just kept revealing the truths to me. And finally, I just really, I just decided to walk out, because I had found out that, my ex-husband was not being faithful to me. So that was a very broken time for me, but in a way I was very relieved, because I knew that I wouldn't have to deal with that anymore. And it made me feel empowered, because I was like, you know what, I know what I deserve now. I'm not going to ever, put myself through that anymore. So yeah. And then, me being single a little after that, it was a really good time just for me to evaluate myself and really just trust in the Lord, and, give all my attention to him, and be like, you know what, Lord, when the time is right, you'll provide somebody for me. Because that's always been a big thing, is marriage for me. And I feel like I've been called to that. So that's a big thing.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, it takes courage to share past hurts and pains and disappointments. And I know what that feels like. You know what I mean? So I can relate to that story, and I can relate to knowing your worth enough to say, you know what, I deserve better, and that's part of what I was saying a moment ago, where I said, take the time to learn of yourself, independent of, other people. So you're whole and you're complete. But one thing I have to pull out, because it was a good point, that two things actually, because I do know Rebecca's parents, her mom and her dad, and that was the upbringing that she grew up under, if you would, right? And so I think even as, women, it's important to, there's nothing wrong with, being with someone that has a different background from you. But I think it's even more important that you be mindful of the value system of who you connect yourself with.
For sure.
Because again, if you're not clear on your values, then their value system could very well override and overshadow your value system. So you have to be clear on what's important to you. If marriage is important to you, then you ask those questions. If being in a relationship, a committed relationship is important to you, observe that person's behavior and how they interact. And a lot of times with men, I would say, I tell my girls and so forth, watch how he treats his mom. Because that's like that's like a telltale. If he treats his mom with respect and honor, then best be sure, that he's going to treat you, the same way. So watch the relationships that he has with the different women in his life that he says are important to him. So I'm really glad. I'm really proud of you, Rebecca, because I do remember, and I guess I need to ask you, I don't think I asked you this question, what was going on with you at the time of coming to Building a Better You?
Well,
like modeling, I knew that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I was kind of to myself, and I remember walking in the side door to the mall, to Northgate Mall. That special side door. So I remember walking in there, and I saw this office space, and it had like free photo shoot, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that excites me so much. Like, I want to do that. And I remember my mom and I going in to meet with Miss Sharon, talking about the program, and I was just like, I want to do it. So she signed me up, and it was such a fun experience because, there's meeting girls from different backgrounds and, cultures. And it's great because it's, really, it's a picture of unity, people coming together, black or white, or does not matter your color, coming together and experiencing those experiences together. So it was great.
Thank you for that. Thank you for saying that, because Building a Better You, we serve all walks of life. So, I believe God, he doesn't discriminate. God sees no color. So I think it's important that, we learn how to work together, to walk together, to love together, because there's so much, today's society is so much hate and so much divisiveness, division, if you would, division. And so I think it's important to have that, example set, and that girls to know how to, because we can be a little catty at sometimes. So I think it's important that we learn to embrace one another.
Oh,
so
for
thanks
sure.
for saying that.
Of course.
And then she talked about the little side door at Northgate Mall. I used to be at Northgate Mall. That was my first retail space. God bless me. And that's in the book. You got to check out the book. But that was my first big space. That was big. I had big retail windows, and I had blew up pictures of the girls when they did photo shoot and so forth. But it was a big staple at the time in Durham. So I appreciate that.
Yeah,
definitely. So Rebecca, is there anything you would like to say, any words of encouragement that you can say to the next young girl coming up, that you would like to say and encourage her to do?
Of course. So definitely know your worth, know your value, and do not ever settle for someone who will love you on their time or at their convenience. Just, know that you are deeply loved by God, and, he sees you as a princess, a queen. And I just kind of want to, if you don't mind, just read part of this.
Please.
So I put kind of in the conclusion of my story. If you're reading this, I say this from my heart. Don't settle for someone who talks the talk. Be with someone who encourages you, loves on you, and walks on the path of Jesus with you. No, he won't be perfect, but he will have the heart of perseverance and will fight for you. Your heart is what will matter to him, not your looks. I pray that whoever reads this will be encouraged and know how much Jesus loves you and wants the best for you.
Amen. Thank you so much, Rebecca.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. I really am. I really am.
Thank you.
I really am. And so thank you for taking the time to contribute to this book, because it took time,
Yeah.
because you didn't have you had some words to say, and I appreciated that. You know what I mean? And so thank you so much.
Of course.
And your words, I believe in getting this workbook, and let them see the cover one more time.
Yes, absolutely.
And getting this particular workbook, which you can get the workbook or order the workbook online. Again, www.myjourneytobuildingabetteryou.com. My choice. That's it. Rebecca Koenig, y'all.
Yes.
Give it up to her for me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you,
Good
guys.
job. I love you. Okay.
Love you
Appreciate
too, Miss Sharon. Thank
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Of course.
Yeah. Hey everybody, we are back. We are back. Oh my gosh, are you enjoying yourself so far? I most certainly am. Hopefully you're being inspired. And right now we have another baby girl in the house. Give it up for me, with me, Miss Kiera Graham, y'all. Hey Kiera.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing well,
Thank you so much for being here with us on this afternoon.
Of course.
Kiera has contributed to my choice as well. Oh my gosh, decision making, peer pressure. Oh my goodness. You are in for a treat listening to Kiera because she definitely is extremely talented as well as the other young ladies that have gone before her this afternoon. And Kiera, how long have you been with Miss Sharon?
Oh my goodness.
How long have I known you, shall I say?
Oh my goodness. Well, I will be 30 next month.
Oh my goodness.
And I started when I was 14, 15.
Woo.
I was going to ninth grade
Okay.
in high school. So yes.
Okay, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. Tell us what was going on with you at the time.
Man, what wasn't going on with me? Oh man.
Life, right?
In life, man, back then it was to the point where I thought I knew it all. I was that child that did not want to listen. Authority had nothing on me. I thought I wanted to rule the world and just figure out the world on my own back then. And so I was dabbling in the things that I shouldn't have been, and that's what led me to the program.
Okay. I remember, when Kiera came, I remember very well. Very well. She was very shy. Now she wasn't probably personality shy, but she definitely kept to herself. She would be the one to kind of look at you and you could tell she was thinking something. You didn't know what she was thinking, but it might not have been good. But she was sweet. She had a sweet spirit in all seriousness, and I do remember her being very shy. She talked low. She didn't project her voice. I remember that very well. And so here we are, fast forward, 29 years old, and she's done some amazing things since 15 years of age. So before we hear what you're doing now, you contributed to the book.
Yes, I
the
did.
My Choice book, and she did give us some of her personal story, and you have to check it out, y'all. Kiera and Rebecca both were in My Choice, and they're in that book for a reason, so I'm going to let Kiera share some of her personal story from the My Choice workbook.
All right, so I'm just going to read just a smidget of it for you.
Okay.
There is way more to life than what you grow up seeing. Understand that. Broaden your mindset. Your thoughts are confined until you decide to talk and share with others. It's good to read, listen, and learn. Broaden your friendships. Please know it's better to have a few true, genuine friends than to have a big group of friends that aren't true to you.
Right.
Energy feeds off of each other just like you do with your friends. Be open to different backgrounds of living, ethnicities, and how you grow.
Very nice, very nice. So why those set of words?
Why those set of words? I feel that this time in life, social media has become a standard where everyone feels separate. It separates everyone. You see your social media models, you see your famous people, you see this person or that person, and you don't know the person behind the cameras and what they're actually going through at that moment. And I feel that you have to be genuine to yourself and be genuine to everyone that's around you in order to be happy in life.
Right. And to your point, it's okay to have a few friends. Like some people have to run with big circles or have, the entourage, if you would. Like to your point, I would rather, and you as well, and it sounds like would rather have a very few select good friends than to have a bunch of people around you that you don't know what their sincere motives are for you. So yeah, good point. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So now, Kiera, fast forward a little bit, just a little bit. Fast forward, right? Fast forward, right? What are you doing today?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have been working in the school system for about 5 to 6 years with elementary school students, mentoring them and just giving them a shoulder to lean on and helping them doing one-on-ones with them, mentoring them and things like that, as well as writing. Yes.
Kiera is a playwright, y'all. She has skills. She sent me her play. I was like, what? I mean, let me tell you. She told me that we had lunch, right? And she told me that she likes to write. And I was like, oh, for real? You know, she's like, Miss Sharon, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send you what I've written. I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking it's gonna be like a book. Book. I'm thinking it's gonna be like a book, right? Well, when she sends it to me, it's like a play. Like she's written out a play, like the characters, the voice, the scenes. I mean, I might not have all the terminology, but I was like, oh, wait a minute now. When we get ready, who do we need to contact? Do we need to do a casting call so I can get your characters for your play and we can figure out how to put it on? And actually, the good thing too, Carrie, you just never know. One of our tech people behind the scenes on the other side of this camera is a producer. He's a film writer. You never know. You see how God works that thing out. Mr. Producer, she has skills. Check her out. Yeah, definitely. So can you put the name of it? Can we plug the name of it, please?
Yes.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Okay, so I started writing at a young age. I was very young when I started writing, and a lot of it also had to do with why I was in the program. I was releasing a lot of my anger, a lot of my stress, a lot of upsetness that I had to go through and confusion and things like that. And so the book the screenplay started out as a book. Started out as a book, turned into a screenplay. It's called Disguised Deep. It is 4 sequels that I ended up writing.
4, y'all. Not 1, but 4.
4 sequels, and it's about a young broken woman who knows the streets better than herself. She ended up meeting a guy, which was actually going through the same situations that she was going through. They become one together as a couple, and they go through life, and they just figure out things to better themselves as a couple. Together. Yeah,
that's nice. That's a good storyline. We need more togetherness, right?
Togetherness.
Some more love. Someone got your back, you know? That's good. Yeah. So where do you see yourself like a couple years down the road with your writing, with Disguised Deep? Like, what are your thoughts there?
I would love to get it edited and published.
Okay.
I would love to do that.
Okay. Now it's a play, so would you be willing and open to cast characters for it and actually put it on a stage?
I would.
Have you thought about that? Because you heard her say published, so she's thinking book. I'm thinking stage, like big, but Tyler Perry. Right?
I'm open to whatever doors God leads me through. I'm willing to go with
Very good.
Definitely willing to go.
All right, okay. So Kiera, what words do you have for the next young girl coming up? What would you like to leave with them at this time, please?
I would like to say, as long as you are living, you are never old enough to learn. I would also like to say there's way more to life than what you grow up seeing. Never limit your growth because of your past situations.
That's it, because we all have a past.
We all have a past.
There's nothing to be embarrassed about, you know? But today is the present. It's a gift, right? But we all have a past. Very good. This is my last question for you.
Okay.
What did you get out of building a better you?
Oh, man. Well, I got a lifelong mentor, which is you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Great friend. I also got out of it confidence. And just happiness,
Mm-hmm.
fulfillment.
Right.
Where I was lacking in life, I got a lot of it through the program. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. One of the things you said and not to speak for you, but this is what caught my attention. You said that sometimes people come into your life and people come into your life for a season, a reason, lifetime.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's good. You know, seasonal friendships and mentorship is good. But then sometimes God will allow people to come into your life for that lifetime. You know what I mean? That person that you could always, call on or count on. And one of the things you said, Miss Sharon stuck around. And I said, I said, did I stick around? But what that meant to me is that I said, well, I appreciate that because, again, this program has never been about Miss Sharon. You know what I mean? People can see and say what they want. They can speculate what they want. But I think that it's important to know that, like even in the book, and one of the things you just said a moment ago, you mentor young girls, this right here is a platform for mentoring as well. You know what I mean? And so we're never too old to have a mentor. Like here it says she's almost 30, but she could always, if she need be, to call me. I'm always here for you. If there's anything I could do to help you, please let me know, and I mean that sincerely. I'm proud of you because, like I said, I remember 15-year-old Kiara, and I loved on 15-year-old Kiara, but I'm loving 29 Kiara at his best, right? So I appreciate you, honey. So you keep shining and know that I'm here. I'm thankful to your dad. I remember your dad. Yes, ma'am. I do remember. I remember very well. And God bless you for just being who you are to him. For him and your family,
Yes.
And so, that's it. I appreciate you. I love you.
I love you, and I appreciate you so much.
Oh, yeah, definitely. This is just the beginning. We got a lot of writing to do, y'all. We got a lot of writing to do. Thank you so much, Kiara. I appreciate this time. Let's give it up, y'all. Kiara Graham is in the yard. She's in the house. All right, y'all, we are back. We are in the house. We are in the yard, coming to you live from Cary, North Carolina. Again, this is Sharon Yvonne DeCoster, the author, your gracious host, the author, though, of this wonderful book, memoir, My Journey to Building a Better You. Get your copy, y'all. Please share, tell a friend, share with a friend. Go to our website, see what different services we offer, with different programs that we have. I promise you, be a blessing to your daughter, your cousin, your niece. You will not regret it. Now, have you been enjoying yourself so far? Oh my gosh, because I have. I truly have been inspired. I've been motivated. I've been encouraged. I've been empowered. And this is, oh my gosh, it's not quite over yet, y'all. Just a little bit more to go. To the left of me, I have the beautiful, the stunning, yes, Kenya McNair is in the house, y'all. She's in the yard. Give it up for Kenya. Hey, Kenya.
Hey.
How you doing, honey?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, doing well. Kenya, tell me, you are how old now?
I will be 22 the end of this month.
Oh, my 22. Oh, my goodness. 22. Kenya was in the 6th grade when she started with Building a Better You. I mean, that's all right there, Kenya. Tell me, what was going on with you when you started Building a Better You?
So 6th grade, it was a rough transition for me because it was during the time that my dad had relapsed. So it had took a toll on our relationship. Back then, I didn't really understand because I didn't know that my dad had a drug problem.
Okay.
So, that's why I was in, middle school. You coming out of elementary school, and that's when we go through puberty and stuff and just different changes. And I feel like that was a critical time that I needed my father and he wasn't there.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But mom, she knew enough to put you in the program.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful.
Oh yeah, Miss Richmond. God bless. What's up, Miss Richmond? What's up, Miss Richmond? I mean, she was a trooper. I remember. I mean, she showed up like clockwork. She dropped Kenya off. She would get there early. Sometimes she'd be waiting for Kenya in the hallway because we were in the mall. So, of course, it was on that side door that Rebecca talked about a few moments ago. And I would keep that door locked once session started. But she would always be at that door when Kenya was finished. And so I really thank you for entrusting me enough to allow me to pour into Kenya. And so, Kenya, tell me, what are some of the little bits and tips that you've gotten out of building a better you?
Being that for a long time I was one of the youngest baby girls, it was amazing to see other young women that's a little bit older than me, and you know, we might have similar struggles and stuff, and just seeing them overcome. And I remember looking at some of the girls and being like, wow, like I can't wait to have my confidence at this level, because I really struggled with self-esteem and confidence, and I didn't really know who I was. I was really young, so you know, like it's not really expected for you to know who exactly you was. But being in a program, I might be a little ahead of myself.
No, absolutely.
But being in a program, I can honestly say it was a season of planting seeds, because I didn't necessarily understand some of the things that we went over back then, and a lot of things I felt like it didn't really apply to me because I haven't experienced it just yet. But like after the program, I was able to put things into perspective, and I started to see like everything that we talked about. So it's like, okay, like, yeah, I did need all of this.
It came at the right time, though, right? Yeah, I remember that. Kenya was I'm still gonna say it to this day. She's like a doll baby to me, because she's just, with her eyes and her smile, she was just real sweet and innocent to me. She really was. You really were. I mean, you know, she was like the little sister that you just want to have. Like, sit here, don't nobody mess with her. Seriously, that's what she was. I mean, you know. And so I really am so proud of her, because she has grown. And I don't want to tell her accomplishments. I'll let her tell them for herself. But, you know, we stay in touch. It's like, you know, hit and miss. But when you talk to her, I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she'll tell you what's going on. She's told me what's going on, like with school. And, you know, so I was proud and like, okay. And, you know, I talked to mom without you even knowing, like just staying in touch every now and again. And, you know, she'll, you know, keep me up on. And so I'm really, really proud of you, Kenya. You know, I really am. And so, you know, it's funny because we were supposed to do a skincare segment, and my makeup artist, which you'll hear about her in the book or read about her in the book, she wasn't able to come out this evening, and I miss her. Hey, Sharon T, you know, but Kenya was going to come in and be the makeup, or excuse me, the model for the skincare. And I said, well, you know, one of the things I remember when you were younger, you said when we were doing the Style, you know, talk show, I produced a talk show called The Style 10 years ago, if you would. And Kenya would say, you know, my style is, like, Sharon, really, you want to tell that story? You know, but she, you know, she wanted to be a model. That was her, right? I remember that, you know, and she was just natural beauty. You know, it didn't take a lot. It didn't take all the makeup and all of the extra. It was just natural beauty. So it was like, honey, if this is what you want to do, I can help you do if that's what you want to do. But again, it wasn't about the modeling aspect of it, but it's about your interests, your desires, and the person helping you to figure out how to reach those goals, if you would. And so just, you know, fast forward years later, and just to see her, because it's been some time since I've seen her. I mean, you know, she's just like, she's still like a baby doll still. I mean, she's 21 now, but I mean, she's just, you know, real sweet. She's always been sweet. And she, I text her. Now get this, y'all. Let me just to prove my point. I text her and I said, Kenya, honey, do you want to do such and such? Without hesitation, immediately, yeah. She was like, yeah. Yes. And then it was just like, okay. And then when I told her that we weren't going to do the segment just because of the, the time and, all of the variables that came with it, I was like, you still want to come? She was like, Miss Sharon. I can hear Miss Sharon. Why wouldn't I come? Miss Sharon, I've got to come. So that means a lot, y'all. When I say always go back and be a blessing to people that have been a blessing to you. It's not about finances, is not about, making somebody shine or, just show your gratitude. And so I appreciate you being your willingness to drive, park out in the parking lot. And she was like, Michelle, I'm out in the parking lot, but I don't know where you at. I said, here I am, can you hear I am, So she came on over. So, so she's going to give us a little bit of her content. She didn't contribute to this specific book, but hey, baby girl is a baby girl. She gets the platform like the rest of them. Okay. So Kenya, what do you have to say? Because she is giving us the time, and let me hold the workbook while you do that. That way I'll hold it up. Yep. So she's going to speak from some of My Body is Important and My Body Important. Again, remember that was the balance. That was being balanced with mentally, spiritually, and physically. All right, honey. So what you got?
So for My Body is Important. That's when we learned about body image and the different body types and stuff. And I remember, because back then I was a little thicker back then, so I had lost some weight. And I remember you telling me, like, it doesn't matter, like, how tall you are or what your size is, as long as, like, what you have in your heart is pure and genuine, and that's all that matters.
Right.
And when you start to pour into yourself and take care of yourself, then you start to feel better and you start to look better. So that's where, like, eating healthy and drinking water come into play, and exercising and doing a lot of stress relieving and stuff, because like stress and trauma, that turns into sickness and illness and stuff. So, we don't want none of that. And also, one of the things that I have been studying for the last 2 months is healing our wounds.
Okay.
And when people hear about healing our wounds, they think about, like, fertility and pregnancy, and that's not the whole case with womb healing.
Right.
Our womb is the powerhouse of energetic fields and stuff.
Okay.
And releasing trauma.
Okay.
So with womb healing and releasing trauma, then you're releasing what no longer serves you and what's holding you back and keeping you stagnant.
Okay.
So
That's interesting.
so that's where all the healing begins. And also it's the seat of wisdom and creative power.
Okay.
So for me, I just been practicing with meditating and journaling and stuff, so that like I said, when you start to do better, you start to look better too. So you look better, you feel better. And also my skincare routine is a ritual in itself.
Okay.
So when I'm cleansing and when I'm toning and exfoliating, I'm setting intentions. So it's like, okay, I'm cleansing and I'm removing all the negative energies. So
right. Very nice. That's good. She's sat here and educated us. She don't learn. See, that's what I'm talking about. You gotta be able to learn from people. You learn. See, I didn't know that before she sat down, So thank you, Kenya. That was good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, another thing to your point, journaling. That was one of the things I wanted, and I could probably go on a little bit, but just with the journaling part of it, that's one of the things that the girls are required to do in the program, is that they have to write in their book what they've gotten out of that session on that day. And what the purpose of that is for is at the end of the program, when we're either doing some sort of presentation, or either you can stand before and say, hey, I learned, or you reflect on. So it's like reflection. And that's what a lot of journaling, that's what journaling really is. It's like reflection. You're writing what you're going through. You're writing what you've experienced, what your feelings are, what may have been good, what may have not been so good, and you're writing it down. And then when you get past it, you can always look back and read where you were at and how God has brought you out. So that was really good. And thank you for sharing that, because now I'm intrigued. Now I want to learn more. I have to bring you back. I'm going to bring you back on so you can tell us more about healing your womb.
I look forward to it.
I look forward to it as well, y'all. Kenya, what would you say to the next young person coming up? What words of encouragement? What would you say?
Just be sure to stay true to yourself, and society try to put limits on us and try to put us in these boxes and stuff. If it's something that you want to do and everybody else don't agree with it, long as it's uplifting you and it's helping you ascend into your highest self, then it doesn't matter what nobody else has to say. Like, you have to follow your heart, and it's best for you.
That's good.
So
that's good. That's good. Kenya, what are you doing now?
Now, I'm trying to get back. Well, no, not trying. And see, I really had to learn to be intentional with my words, because trying is no trying. We only do around here. So I'm working to get back into school so I can get my cosmetology license. I want to specialize. No, we don't use the word want and need anymore. It's desire and require. So I desire to be a spa owner.
Okay.
And I desire to have my own skincare line.
Yo, let me tell y'all, this is growth at its best, because Kenya, the words she was attempting to use before was very strong in her vocabulary. So she's catching herself. She's checking herself, and that's what it's all about. That's growth. I'm so proud of you. Oh, God is good, y'all. You can't tell me that what God won't do, what he can't do. He is good, he is real, and he is able. Kenya, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for coming and being here. It means so much to me.
Thank you for
You look so good. I'm so proud of you. God bless you real good. I'm gonna get you back here for that skincare demo. Sharon T. I love you, okay? I appreciate you. I'm here, okay? Y'all, let's give it up for Kenya. Nick Nair. She's in the yard, y'all. All right, y'all. Oh my goodness. Are you full yet? I am full. Can you believe it, y'all? We've had some beautiful young ladies come before you thus far. Not just beautiful on the outside, but clearly, as you can see, they're beautiful on the inside. And we have just one more. Saving, not the least at all. Not least at all. Miss Olivia Dalbona is in the house, y'all. Let's give it up for Miss Olivia. Yes. Hey, Olivia.
Hi, Miss Sharon.
How you doing, honey?
I'm doing good.
I am so happy to see you. I'm so happy you're here with me on this evening.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, ma'am. So, Olivia, what book have you contributed to?
I have contributed to workbook number 4 called Fashion My Way.
Fashion My Way. Oh my gosh. Now that's my topic all day long. Why did Miss Sharon put you in Fashion My Way?
I think you put me in Fashion My Way because you noticed that I was into fashion from a young age. I've been in the program since I was 10 years old. So at a young age, she noticed that I had a different style. It wasn't like all put together because I was young, but I did have a thing for fashion. And that's how she lured me into the program and with the fashion industry and the modeling industry. And through her other programs like All About Me and My Body is Important, I kind of carried fashion throughout all of those other programs and my learning. So that's why I believe you chose me.
I believe that's why.
Yes.
I believe so. Olivia is one of, along with several other, but we have Olivia before me right now. Olivia is really one of the ones that I can say has said, Miss Sharon, whenever you got something going on fashion related, I want to be there. Like her mom said, oh no, Olivia's not going to turn down that runway opportunity.
Right.
Hey, hope. Yeah, so no, I mean, she's a beautiful, she's another one like Kenya. She was young. She was 10 years old. Olivia's 20 now. So she was 10. So she was like the baby of the group coming in. But she came in and so she was quiet, of course. So, a 10-year-old, a little shy, if you would, But she's truly blossomed into a beautiful, she was beautiful then, but just a beautiful young lady now today. And she's accomplished so many wonderful things. And when I was talking to Olivia about what she would write, I said, well, Olivia, let me get you to write about some of what you learned when you would do some of the Dress for Success sessions. Building a Better You, myself, I would get contracted to implement the Dress for Success program for the city of Raleigh. And I always would think of different ways to be creative and put a spin on it. And I said, well, what better way than to bring a live model and have her actually wear some of the clothes that we're talking about. And so Olivia, she took it upon herself and she did an amazing job with her content. You have to grab her workbook as well. Again, Fashion My Way, because she's giving you some of her tips and her skills and knowledge and her the information that she's learned over the years outside of Building a Better You, as well as being with Building a Better You in this workbook. So tell us, what did you contribute? What would you like to? You contributed a lot, of course, but what piece of information, content would you like to share with the audience today?
Well, I was just going to first say for the Dress for Success workshop that we have for the city of Raleigh, I kind of brought that into words. We have 4 different dress styles: casual, business professional, and dressy. So I brought that into the workbook, and then I also gave tips how to make it your own, accessorize different trends. But one piece of information that I would like to read is my last paragraph, and it says, "They say not to judge a book by its cover, but unfortunately, that is what the world interprets from first. Therefore, learning what clothes work for me was essential because it aided in how I viewed and carried myself, which led to how others treat and perceive me as well." So I said that because how you carry yourself, people notice that when you walk in a room. So how you dress is important. Even though they say not to judge a book by its cover, that's what people do. But even though you dress well, you have to have more to your brain than what's on the outside.
Very good. That's right. Good point. And that goes back to what I was saying. A lot of times young people and older people, believe it or not, they get so caught up in their outward appearance that they forget the important thing that really matters. And that's your character. That's your heart, how you treat people. So you did an amazing job.
Thank you.
Olivia definitely has accomplished quite a bit over the years. Now, remember, she started when she was in the 4th grade, but she's 20 years old now. And one of the things that Olivia did for me, and I'm gonna let you talk, I'm gonna start it off and I'll let you run with it from here, okay? So I do this career and entrepreneur showcase for young adults. And that's where I basically have the platform for young entrepreneurs to come and showcase their business. So if you desire to be an entrepreneur, or you have a business, or you're looking how to maybe network or be able to network, I created this platform for young entrepreneurs to come and set up like their vending space. And then we created this platform for them to come and talk about their business, their aspirations, or whatever they're doing at that present time. Olivia, in addition to her just being fabulous in itself, she also is a fashion designer. She designs clothing. So let's hear about your clothing line, Olivia.
So I showcase my business called Amazing Fashion, and in Amazing Fashion, I specialized in women's clothing, where I made dresses, skirts, and belts to match with that. So that's what I showcased at her expo, and it was really a great opportunity working alongside other entrepreneurs such as my mother, Miss Sharon, it really put me out there, opened my eyes to other businesses that I want to create and start. But yes, that's what I started, Amazing Fashion.
And then she had like some African printed clothing material fabric.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, like Ray, you want to talk about that?
Yes, those African prints, they were from some of them were from Africa, some of them were American made, but it was a challenge working with them. I think that the different patterns, I learned a lot, sewing and matching lines and different silhouettes together. So it was definitely a learning experience that I brought to her expo.
Very nice. And by the way, that expo was at St. Augustine's University. Gotta plug my school, you know. But anyway, so yeah, she did an amazing job. I do remember very well. She had a mannequin, so y'all get this. She brought in like a mannequin, and she positioned the mannequin like next to her table, and then she had her African printed skirt on the mannequin, and I believe it was like a denim something or another, right? Yeah, and I was like, look at Olivia, you know. So I just appreciate her creativity and her willingness. Now, on top of her, just again, you know, just being fabulous and very talented in itself, she does a lot of print work for Building a Better You. You'll notice that there are quite a few images of her and some of the material that I've used, along with the other girls, of course, but I have Olivia before me, so she's definitely extremely photogenic. And then let's fast forward a little bit. So Olivia, you're finished high school. What are you doing now?
Right now, I'm a full-time student at Hampton University. I'm a sophomore, majoring in entrepreneurship. And I also just completed and received my North Carolina real estate license.
Woo!
Yes.
Y'all, did y'all hear that? One more time, Olivia. What you say? What you just do?
I just received my North Carolina real estate license.
Woo! Did y'all hear that? One more time, Olivia. Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm hearing. Wait a minute, because she's only 20, y'all. One more time, Olivia. What you just do?
I am now North Carolina real estate agent.
Yo, that's big. I'm trying to tell you.
Thank you.
You have grown people that have taken the class and they can't pass the exam. So yeah, what you say is challenging. It's challenging, but you did it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You did it, and so I think that speaks volumes to who she is. You know, and then she's a full-time student at Hampton University. I mean, you know, come on now, y'all. This is our next generation coming up and accomplishing some great things, some big things. And so I'm just really super proud of you. You know, there's no words to really express just the feeling that I have, or just to hear just some of the stories this evening from everyone. And knowing that you said, I'm going to do it. You strive for it, you work towards it, and you made it happen. So, you know, I don't know if y'all noticed my signs that have been interchanging through different, you know, backgrounds and what have you. So I thought this one would be so fitting. Can y'all see that? Just a girl boss building her empire at its best. Say no more. Drop the mic. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so I think that's just wonderful. One thing that you didn't mention, but you know, that's fine. But also another thing that she accomplished is that she did go through for the natural hair care class.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so I mean, that's what I'm saying. You know, she picked up skills. She's picking up skills that will go beyond just one stream of income. That's what I mean when I say multiple streams of income. You position yourself to make money this way, and you can never go wrong, because if something happens with this one, then you got the other 2 or 3 to fall back on. So you're doing just that, Olivia, and I'm really super proud of you.
Thank you.
Let's see. You told me what going on with you with the program. Is there anything that you want to say about the program? Anything that you learned that you would like to share with the people? And then you'll close it out with what you would like to say, encouraging words for the next generation.
So one thing I learned, a couple things that I learned from Ms. Sharon is to always be confident in everything that you do. As long as you have God with you, everything will work out. This really helped me transitioning from high school to college, making decisions, being the big dog in high school and to be a freshman, going to be a freshman in college. I had to make some decisions that I wasn't I wouldn't have been confident if I wasn't walking with God. So I think that's one of the biggest things that she has taught me, and the program has taught me with building my confidence and my decisions and how I walk.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that, Olivia. What words would you like to give or say to the next generation?
The
next young girl coming
the
up.
advice that I would give to the younger girl is to always be true to who you are and what you want. I believe that as young girls, we're influenced by a lot of things like our peers, friends, social media, and sometimes our family members. And sometimes we tend to stray away from what our heart really needs and wants, listening to these different opinions. But I think as long as you stay true to who you are and what you need, that'll make you the happiest.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Olivia.
Thank you
for being here and
for
for just
having me.
being willing to do just some of the stuff Miss Sharon. I mean, you know, I've started quite a few things. And I'm like, okay, let me call Olivia and see if she want to do it, you know. And she's been one of those, you know, those that were like, okay, Miss Sharon, you know, and I appreciate it, you know. I truly appreciate it, you know. So just know that Miss Sharon is always here for you as well as the other girls. I'm always here, just a phone call away. You're in Hampton. You're home now, but you're in Hampton. I'm just a phone call away. And I have to thank her mom, you know, Hope, for allowing me to pour into Olivia as well. I have to also say this, that this is not about me, you know. I thank God because, you know, I'm just another voice, just another vessel that God has used to be a blessing. And so it means so much to me. I don't take for granted the program. I don't take for granted the opportunity to work with teenage girls, because I was a teenager once upon a time, and I know just what that feels like when you're going through and you're growing and you're trying to figure things out. And sometimes you make decisions that are not the best, but you always come back around, and you're just thankful for the people that are there to catch you sometimes. So thank you so much for being that person for Miss Sharon, and thank you, Hope, for allowing me to pour into Olivia. It means a lot. So I'm proud of you. You keep shining.
Thank you.
Doing well. Let the rest speak for itself. Just a girl boss building her empire, y'all. Let's give it up for Olivia. Olivia Balbona. You know I got you. All right, y'all. What can I say? We are back. I am back once again. We are wrapping up this evening. Oh my goodness. Have you been inspired? Have you been inspired? Did you feel like, are you ready to go to the website? Have you gone to the website and ordered your book, your copy? Have you ordered your workbook copy? Again, 4 workbooks. As you've heard for yourself, personal testimonies of girls that have gone through the program, some as young as 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, and now here they stand before you, before me, 15 years later for some, 10 years later for others, and they're still standing, looking good, feeling good, and still have something good to say about the program. So I thank you, ladies, from the bottom of my heart. Miss Sharon does thank you for taking out the time to be here on this afternoon. I could not leave this platform without just thanking a few additional people. Okay, so the first person I would like, or the next person I would like to thank, definitely have to thank my family for always being there, for being supportive as needed, when needed. My nephew, Jay Robinson. Oh my goodness, Jay is in the house. He came and showed up for his Aunt Sharon, and it means a lot to me. I appreciate you taking the time for even exploring StreamYard with me. You know, we had a few Saturdays, and it was like, okay, let's figure this thing out, Jay. And Jay's like, all right, Aunt Sharon, I'll see what I can do. You know, he's real, you know, he's very precise, you know, he's on time, you know, he's about his business. And so I appreciate you taking the time to come out, because you didn't have to, but it means a lot that you did. So thank you. I love you. I'm proud of you. He's doing big things in the community as well on his job. That's the sass man over there. So thank you for being who you are, Jay. Definitely have to thank my next producer, Troy McNish. Did I say that right? Troy McNish. My fellow Falcon is in the house. He took the time at Liberty in the 9th hour, y'all. The 9th hour to pull this off, to make this successful for me. And I so appreciate you, Troy. Thank you. God bless you real good for being a blessing to the Building a Better You program, for taking out the time to make sure that it was done. It was done exceptionally. It was done proper. So thank you. God bless you. And hopefully we'll be able to work together in the future on other projects, because I believe God has some great things in store. I have to thank Mr. DJ KM is in the house. I didn't get a chance to see him and not really hear him, but do I need to give you a real name, or are you okay with DJ KM? All right, okay. Caballas McKeith is in the house, y'all. DJ KM is in the house, and he showed up and he made sure the vibe was good as the girls came into the building. So thank you for coming through. And I was like, Caballas, and he was like, well, what kind of music should I play? And I was like, you the DJ, you know what to play. You know our foundation. So he came in with some Christian music and some upbeat music. So I appreciate you for being here as always. Good man of God. I so appreciate you. I have to, of course, thank the lovely Free Will Church for allowing us to come into their facility and occupy their space. I thank you once again, Sin. I thank you, Rick Crank, Sharon T. I know and pray, and my prayers are with you and the family. I got to thank my sisters, Denise and Yvette. Denise showed up today, y'all, so you know I got to thank you, because Denise is busy. She has a lot going on, but she took the time to come out here to carry, and I appreciate you, sis. You know I do. And then Yvette, yeah, I know, I see you, sis. You looking? You watching? I appreciate you real good. And so I thank my family, their spouses, and my other, nephews, just for being who you are. And I got to thank my daddy. He's not watching this, y'all, but you'll hear in my book that, I lost my mom a couple of years ago, and that was probably the hardest thing our family had experienced, because she was the true matriarch of the family. She was the one that kicked down the doors, and she was the one that covered you. She was the one that people went to fight, to pray in the spirit, spiritual warfare. That was who she was. And so she's not here physically, but she's definitely here spiritually. And I said, Lord, give me a double dose of what you gave her, so I can walk in here with the authority that you've given her, that you would now give to me, and I will carry that torch and go on to the next. So thank you for, Daddy. Thank you. You're not watching this now, but I'll make sure you watch it later. I thank you for being just an amazing man of God, for being a great provider, for being, not only, my dad, my mentor, my guardian, but just for being a good friend. I thank you so much, So thank you. I don't think I'm leaving out. There's a lot of more people to thank, but you know who you are. If I'm leaving or your name out, charge it to the head and never to the heart. Is never intentional. For those friends that I haven't, the real friends that I haven't talked to in a while, thank you for understanding my absence. You know what I mean? I'm still here, still sharing, So thank you so much. And again, thank God, because without him, y'all, none of this would be possible. God is real. He is able. He can do exceedingly abundantly more than you or myself could ever think or imagine. So just trust him. Just try him. And I promise you, he'll never disappoint. So thank you so much. Again, Sin, thank you so much for being True Blue. Dr. Colbert, thank you so much for being my editor, my proof editor, and making it possible for me. My advisors from St. Aug, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so with that being said, again, my journey to building a better you. I got to grab my book, y'all. Hold on. Ba-dow. My Journey to Building a Better You, my personal memoir. Get your copy today. Like I said, for those that ordered, your signed copy is on its way. Look out for it. Your name will go into the drawing. If you go to the website, myjourneytobuildingabetteryou.com, and order your book. Your name will go on the drawing, and then you'll hear from me when we pull those names. And look out for my next broadcast show. It will not be quite this long, but it will be very informative. It will be very empowering. I promise you, you don't want to miss it. So thank you. God bless you real good, y'all. Take care. To the next. Building a Better You is in the yard. Thank you so much. Good night. God bless.